On the late afternoon of April 10, 2026, the U.S. Geological Survey issued a notice for Southern California. Residents between 5 and 5:15 p.m. Pacific Time were told to expect a thunderous sonic boom to rattle the coastline. NASA's Orion capsule, Integrity, generated that shockwave as it slammed into the Earth's atmosphere after 10 days in deep space. Entering the atmosphere at tens of thousands of miles per hour creates extreme friction. The spacecraft must convert a massive amount of kinetic energy into heat, testing the limits of its engineering and thermal shielding. Surviving that violent high-speed fall stood as the make-or-break moment for the entire Artemis program. If the heat shield or parachute systems failed here, the agency's broader ambitions would be grounded. For decades, human spaceflight has centered on low Earth orbit, circling just a few hundred miles above the surface. Artemis II broke that cycle, sending a crew hundreds of thousands of miles into the void. Artemis focuses on permanent lunar infrastructure, using these extreme distances to map out the requirements for a constant human presence on the Moon. But before engineers can construct lunar habitats, they have to prove that modern hardware can sustain a crew in deep space and bring them home. Artemis II served as the high-stakes proof of concept for this mission profile, testing the specific life support and navigation systems required for deep space transport. Any structural failure or sensor malfunction during that final re-entry sequence would stop the program. The hope for a sustained lunar presence depended entirely on Orion surviving the drop. To understand the stakes of that descent, we have to rewind 10 days to April 1st, when the crew first launched from Earth. Over the next week and a half, the crew pushed the Orion capsule to its maximum operational limits. They tested communications and manual piloting capabilities far beyond the safety net of Earth's immediate orbit. This comparison chart shows the distance gap between previous records and the current mission. While Apollo XIII set a long-standing mark for lunar distance, Artemis II extended that flight path significantly to reach a new frontier. Breaking that 50-year-old record provided the exact viability data NASA engineers needed. It verified that transport hardware could function reliably over the distances required for future lunar landings. Aboard the capsule, that data was generated by a team of 4, led by Commander Reed Wiseman. The crew experienced unique personal milestones during their orbit. NASA granted them the honor of naming 2 lunar craters, one after their capsule, Integrity, and the other, Carol, named for Wiseman's late wife. On April 6th, they watched a rare astronomical event from orbit. This is the 54-minute solar eclipse the crew witnessed as they watched a massive dark shadow drift across Earth's clouds. These moments represent the emotional reality of deep space exploration. As humans spend longer durations off-world, the act of watching the Earth from afar will become a routine psychological experience. That quiet observation period ended on April 10th. The crew strapped in as Integrity initiated its final descent toward the Pacific Ocean. When an object travels faster than sound, roughly 750 miles per hour, it compresses the air in front of it. At extreme supersonic speeds, these waves merge into a single shockwave, carrying vibrational energy to the ground as a sonic boom. At 1:39 p.m., Integrity successfully deployed its parachutes and splashed down in the ocean. Recovery teams used helicopters to ferry the astronauts from the water to the landing area of a waiting aircraft carrier. Successfully dissipating that kinetic energy validated the spacecraft's design. The splashdown officially cleared the heat shield and parachute systems for future flights. Back on Earth, the space agency faces different pressures. The Artemis program operates under mounting financial costs that require constant justification. Tight timelines and heavy bureaucratic scrutiny consistently threaten the funding required for future phases of lunar development. But abstract policy debates often give way to physical results. Friday's splashdown delivered 4 living astronauts and a fully intact spacecraft, exactly where and when NASA promised. This highly visible success provides engineers with leverage. It offers a concrete argument to secure continued support, proving that the technical hurdles of the program are being cleared. This mission control layout from the Apollo era supported short-term lunar sprints. Today, NASA is building a logistical network intended for long-term deep space habitation. Artemis prioritizes the development of infrastructure that could support future crewed landings and sustained exploration rather than brief visits. Returning the Integrity capsule safely was the final required variable in the program's proof of concept. With the Integrity capsule safely recovered, NASA has validated the re-entry systems required to support a lasting lunar presence. This flight transforms the goal of permanent deep space habitation from a proposal into a verified technical reality.